The General Banter Podcast with Colin Geddis.
Right about here, ladies and gentlemen, I want you to get yourself and your soul together. This man will make your liver quiver. This man will make your bladder splatter. Let's all welcome the world's godfather fool.
Colin Geddis.
It's Geddis, actually.
Geddis.
Geddis.
Geddis. Geddis. Geddis.
Fuck you. But the rash cleared up eventually. What's happening, people? Welcome to the General Banter Podcast with me, Colin Geddis. Today, I'm joined by my legal and biological wife, Máirín.
Hello.
As a flies past your head, because we are in a garage in a rural scenario. This is the first podcast back in ages, Máirín.
Yeah, quite well.
And I'm going to have the absolute brass neck to tell you to go to colingeddis.com and get some tour tickets for the upcoming G.O.A.T tour. Get us on another tour. Where am I going, Máirín? Enniskillen first.
Yeah.
And then such hot spots as Newton Abbey and things like that. But the tickets are all over there. And you can also get the brand new General Apparel work jumper, which is now for sale. Isn't that crazy? I haven't done a podcast in months and then I jump in with an ad.
What do you like?
Where else would I get it? We have no headphones either, so I don't know if that's making a noise or not, but, we're going to add it in post. No, we're back. I don't know if we're back. Are we back? Am I back?
You decide if you're back?
I decided if I'm back. You see, I did a big weepy post on Patreon. This fly is going to drive me mad. Did a big weepy post on Patreon where I was like, guys, I think it's time to... I don't know. Do you know what it was? It's like anything. It's me all over, Máirín.
Yeah.
If there is a schedule to it, I have an absolute pathological resistance to it. People are like, this should be out every week. No, I think it was just obviously the Bomb Squad started, and that's how you have to podcast nowadays, with a full team behind it,
Yeah,
taking care of everything. And I was trying to squeeze this one in, but what I will be doing from now on is just little fun podcasts.
Which is kind of what you wanted to do.
It's what I wanted to do. You just go, like, I feel like doing a podcast today. Let me do one.
Yeah, I think you just didn't like having a parameter where you only had you had a scheduled amount of time to be able to do one of these podcasts. Like, it was like, okay, you have a Friday morning and that's it. Because every other hour or day was consumed with something else. And to have like a scheduled, like you have 1.5 hours here or 2 hours here, it became so frustrating for you because you're just like, I can't do the podcast like this. You like doing this one. Like, I have whatever day I fancy to sit for as long as I want and talk for as long as I want.
Yeah.
And I think that's what happened. So if you accumulate that over time and then obviously everything else, So I think that's what it was. So I think now you've probably freed up a bit more time.
I'll just do,
Hopefully
I don't know when these will be out. They'll not be out every Tuesday at 7 a.m.
But
I'll just, when I feel like it, I'll just do a fun one. Because what we have with the Bomb Squad is me and Aaron, being me and Aaron, flat out. And then sometimes, because, you might watch Bomb Squad and think, oh, these guys, they're never done talking about shite. I'm an intellectual. And I really struggle to say that.
Is this you?
No, but sometimes you want to sit down and have a chat.
And
like an
talk
adult.
Talk
about shit. I'm a husband and a father. I'm talking to our McCann about pooping most of the time.
Yeah.
So I was like, why can't I talk about pooping with my wife?
Why can't you talk about pooping?
That was actually the main thing was a lot of people, once I sort of stepped back a wee bit from it, people were like going back and listening to stuff and they were like, man, I really miss those ones more.
Yeah. Oh. Funny enough, I had a few messages too.
Yeah. Oh, well, you get it all. We go to Ivy Gardens and, we chat to all these famous comedians and then they follow you and they don't follow me on Instagram. So,
everyone follows me.
Whatever. I don't know what that means, but, they just push me out of the way.
Yeah.
I call them, good to see you. Move. Where's your wife?
Yeah, well, see, I care about people. You clearly don't.
I care about people. That's what they call me, the Care Bear. I've been saying this to Aaron for weeks. I'm a big bear. I'm a big teddy bear. Aren't I?
Yeah.
Am I not?
Aren't I? No, you are. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
There's many You're multifaceted, and I feel like this is why you need many different creative outlets.
Oh, I'm a nightmare,
And
really. I'm
this
actual
one was
nightmare.
probably just squeezed to the point where you couldn't do it how you'd like to, and now you've got a little bit more room to do that again, and you're very happy about it.
Yeah, I'll do the General Banter podcast when I want to. Isn't that crazy?
That's crazy, man.
It's a big day in the Geddis household anyway. We took our child to his first day at primary school.
I know. Do you think maybe that's coinciding with us, like
It feels like a
having
it
time?
It feels like a fresh start. You know what I mean? You're like, what's
It does
important?
feel
It's a
like a
nice day outside. You know, we took him over there.
I know.
Lovely. I was saying to you earlier, not what I remember about primary schools.
It's a really lovely primary school he's going to.
I was like, look at all these play areas, park, clean as a whistle,
It's really nice.
grass
isn't
is cut.
it? Got a little garden. They grow stuff, and they have like butterfly garden and everything.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, I know, isn't it?
Our first day back at school, they'd be like, everyone get in a line and we'll sort of beachcomb this pitch to pick up any glass that was left there over the summer.
Okay, guys. So there's been a murder, so we're going to use the school to look for any clues. Okay.
We're going to use some child labour
If
to
you
try
see
and
anything.
if you find any items of clothing or anything, give it to the dog, the police dog that they've brought in.
Right, we're going to put gloves on because you cannot touch these with your fingers. Okay.
Yeah, some scumbags in our school, like, I swear to God, it was. But it was like, yeah, it was in the middle of like a wee estate, and it was so big. Like I was saying to you, you go in there to the one Eddie's going to, and you're like, this is so cute and
Yeah.
quaint, and I've got, you know, loads of cool little bits. You know, we've got like a little AstroTurf area for them to play on, just with like sand and water and stuff. And my primary school was huge and genuinely felt like you were walking through, you know, like a fucking prison. You know, like
Yours
Like
is
an old
more like
hospital or
like
something?
a secondary school. You said yours
yeah,
is
it
like
felt like a
massive.
secretary. Like if
That's
someone told you
like-
to go take a note to Mrs. Whatever, you'd be gone for 50 minutes. You'd be walking
No.
around the school.
Even my secondary school, I think. How many people do you say was in your primary school? Like hundreds, was it?
It was big, like.
I think
It was
you
big.
said one time it was whatever, and I was like, that's how many people were in my secondary school.
Yeah.
My primary school was like 100 people.
Yeah, it was really
This
big.
school is also about 100 people.
And just full of animals, you know what I mean? Just full of. You know, like some wee lad at break was just
Eddie's
like.
school's actually just animals, and yours like, no, these are
Yeah,
animals.
yeah.
People animals.
Eddie's it's a petting zoo, and mine it's like. I mean,
Prison.
what are you
No.
talking? You're talking 35 years difference. But there were boys,
Yeah.
there were boys just standing, kicking a football at a large window, to try and smash it, and then when it smashed, they'd be like, "Oh God, I smashed that,"
Yeah.
and nothing really happened. You know, they were just like all sorts of weird stuff in my primary school.
Was there? Like what?
This guy would come in one day and they were like, "Oh, this guy's dad died last night, so just be really nice to him." And I'm like, "What the fuck's he doing in?" You had the big scary biker parents.
What age are you?
What did you think? I was in primary school.
No, but I mean, like,
17?
I just love like that you could have been like 8 years old, be like, what the fuck's he doing here? Like, you're the only one worried about him.
Yeah, I was kind of. So
Like,
many
school's
weird,
like, what? And you're like, what the?
So many. Here's some standout memories from primary school. I remember there was an Indian family, and you know, everyone was not bullying, but everyone would be like, "What the hell's in your lunchbox?" Man, the guy had mint yogurt dips, naan, you know, nice wee sauces and everything.
I was about to say this because I was like, I feel like you've told me this story so much because you were so jealous of his lunch. And
I'm
no
sitting
one
there
else
with a soggy tuna sandwich
And
where
you're
it
like,
went.
what are you dipping in this?
I'm like, what the hell's going on here? And everyone's like, ugh. And I'm like, shut up. You don't even know what you're talking about. There was a guy
Kids
come
are
in,
uncultured,
there was
you
a
know?
guy, there was a
I'll
guy
say
come,
it.
this is the sort of school I went to. There was a guy come in and did a drug awareness chat to like P6 P6s. And there was one absolute
Stop it.
There was one absolute
Oh my
nerd.
God.
And I don't know if his parents knew there was like a drug awareness thing coming in, and they were like, "Here, ask him that," because you find out later in life, you know, like anyone that's turning up to schools to teach, you know, oh, there's a guy coming in to teach like tennis, which we actually had like mini tennis, and you know, the guy realistically, it's like a fucking 19-year-old.
Yeah.
You know, just Dev doesn't know what he's doing. So God knows who the drug awareness guy was, like some ex-prisoner.
It usually is an expert.
And he was in there going, fucking drugs is bad and all the way down drugs and this. And showing 6-year-olds, like, this is cannabis. And it just looked like a pile of dirt. And you're like,
What? Actually, what do you mean showing them?
on a projector.
Oh. I was like, well, these didn't have it in with them. does it?
This is what they call sativa. It's got you more of a high instead of low and more of a couch lock, you know.
Stop it.
But he was doing all that, and then some wee nerd kid I think somebody told him this information. They were like, ask the guy, what the laws around amphetamines are. And this like what age are you in P6 like?
What age are you? I don't know. Are you like 9-ish?
Something. The guy's like, what about something about amphetamines? And the guy, because again, probably not really qualified in it. Probably just saying.
What do you mean qualified? Well, qualified in drugs?
Yeah, but
how do you be qualified?
I don't know, like
Take
from the police or something. You know what I mean? Like some sort of expert. But he was obviously, probably one of those guys like sent a wee note into school, like, I'm going around doing fucking drug awareness classes and all. Do you want in?
It's part of probation.
Probably. And then this kid said something to him like about amphetamines, and the guy was like, what? And he was like, amphetamines? And the guy was like, I don't even know what that is. I'm more of a smack guy, And then another memory that popped out recently, because we were talking about,
Do your memories pop out of you?
They pop out of me. Oh. Slide out.
It's nice to know.
Pop out. But talking about having to do a little bit of maybe churchy business when you send a kid to school.
Yeah.
And Eddie's at a very Irish Catholic Republican primary school, and he's probably gonna have to do a bunch of masses and stuff. And I said, we've got him the tricolour balaclava and everything. But
shut up! This is all lies, by the way.
But there was a big sort of biker guy, and his wife would come in to our primary school and take this little girl out of assembly, because he was like, I will not have any sort of religious doctrine forced upon my child. And the school must have said, well, we can't be responsible for her if she's not in assembly. And the dad was now, shows how much he had on his plate. Fuck all. But
he's in every day.
He would come in, take the wee girl out for about 20 minutes, and then leave her back for class.
I mean, that wouldn't have been the norm, back 30 years ago. Sure it wouldn't. The people, people wouldn't have bothered doing that. They would have just been like, do whatever. I feel like people would be more like that now. But I feel like that's more disruptive than just letting them tear away and then decide yourself eventually. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, I mean, I don't know how much of the Christian teachings were embedded in me, for example. That's
what I mean. You went to school and you're doing whatever, a few prayers in assembly, but it's hardly making you go, well, this is me now. I'm indoctrinated.
No, exactly. Like, it's a fucking primary school child. No one gives a flying fuck.
Here's the thing. Who even listens through an assembly?
Exactly.
Do you know what I'm saying? Like, no one's even really like paying attention.
You stand in there.
You go to mass. Who's paying attention? Not really. You know what I mean?
Nobody.
You're in your own.
It's why they're molesting children. Okay, we'll cut that out. But you know what I mean. It's probably a step too far.
What I mean? Like, I just think with that kind of stuff and kids and all. Yes, you can have all your strong beliefs and be like, don't let them, whatever. Yes, certain things to do that. But like, something like they're going to school and there's going to be some prayers and maybe you're not religious, like, just let them take part, let them discover all of it, you know what I mean? Let them try all of it out and decide or not decide or whatever. Like, doing that is nearly too, it's nearly too strict of an opinion as well.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's
they're both.
You could be a staunch,
things.
like, non-religious person.
And you're like taking your child out and like singling them out. How is that helpful? Because maybe one thing you're helping is like disrupting 9 other things probably socially for them, which is silly. Like,
kids, you
gotta
go
into primary school and secondary school and even your first jobs, uni. It's all like a social experiment for your brain to like learn new social skills.
That's true.
The education part you will learn through many other ways than just listening in assemblies and books and lectures.
So true.
You gotta let kids try it all. You don't learn it by someone telling you something. You learn by you taking in the information. So how you take in the information can be different. It doesn't matter.
That's true.
So
and you gotta let them try it all. Like sports, we're sending Eddie.
We're sending him to all the religions.
Rugby tots, Gaelic football. As I said to you, rugby is a nightmare to try and get into your head when you're a small child. I didn't play any rugby till I was about 11.
And then he's going to Gaelic right now. But unfortunately, they're all at the same time, which is not good. Or just back to back. But to be fair, when you're like 4 or 5 years old,
you got that energy, bro.
Well, it's that, but also like the difference in training is nothing. It's all just small little light bulbs where you're doing small little, essentially
run through a hoop.
run through a hoop,
Run their cone,
put
run
this
back.
in a hoop, throw it to the next person. You wouldn't be able to really tell the difference between these two other than the shape of the ball.
Yeah.
And that's it. So really it's more just, again, it's a social thing. It's for fun. It's just to get them running around with their friends. So
Although Eddie was
he loves it, though.
mainly focused on, he had his tiny pair of Adidas Predators, which are absolutely adorable. And
cutest thing in the world.
so cute. And he was more obsessed with going to the boot cleaner, which is like 3 yard brushes. And I was joking at the end. I was like, Eddie, you can take them back to the shop. They're that clean. And the dad beside me laughed. You know, that's all about the dad banter at these things.
You gotta hone that up a wee bit now that we're going to school. There's a lot more like dad interaction.
I'm good
now.
at that. I'm good at
Making people feel uncomfortable.
I'm more like if I actually know a person, I'm like, oh fuck, I gotta go chat to this person. I'll waffle shite to people all day.
Yeah, I think I'm probably better with people I don't know. Isn't
Yeah.
that funny?
But you gotta let them try all the sports. Preferably we could push them into
You did all the things.
maybe like a Formula 1. Oh, I did everything. Judo, gymnastics, football,
I think that's one of the things I
rugby.
liked about you, because you were like in school, you were like walking around with your art folder, but also playing rugby. You're like, oh, what a hunk.
What
you
a
know?
hunk, I know. And I had luscious long black hair.
Look at him. I bet all his
Chinese
emotions are
hair.
regulated. Not. I bet this guy must feel really grounded. He's probably really, one of those just grounded guys we feel safe with because his emotions will not get in the better of him. Or are they?
Listen,
I'm only joking. You are.
You gotta let them fire up sometimes.
No, but
Clean
I
the
think
pipes out.
I did like that about you because you're like into a lot of things. I think
I'd
that's a good
be
thing.
going in to do my chalk drawings covered in muck.
I never really was into guys who were like, I play football and I watch football and I do football and I have no clue about what you're talking about, anything outside of just this one thing
Yeah.
that I've done since I've been 4 years old. I don't really, I think maybe because, to be honest, most people I know are into lots of different things. Like,
Yeah.
do you know what I mean? Oh, they're doing that and they also sing, Oh, they do a thing, but they also do this. A lot of people I
Yeah.
know are like that, which is quite fun. I
They
mean, I don't
play-
do any of those
they
things. I'm
play,
the
like,
most boring one, but
Gaelic football, and then they're doing a play at night.
yeah.
Things like that. That's the thing about sports. They're for doing.
Guys,
Sports are for doing, man. See if
you
you're
one of those
getting
doing
emotional about
guys?
sports and you're not playing it also, fuck off.
that's a good
See if you
point.
just watching football? Yeah.
Well, you're just sad looking at it.
You're like talking about regulating your emotions.
I know.
Oh, not Chelsea. Not my Chelsea. Fuck that.
Name a
Some fucking
football club and girlfriend.
Not my Chelsea. Fuck that Chelsea. Chelsea
You
lost.
bitch.
I come home, I can't even talk to you. If you see your name as my beloved Chelsea. I said it again. Oh fuck. I don't know who supports Chelsea around here, like, but you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, but yeah, we'll try them with all the sports. Try and get them into Formula 1 or golf, something that pays out big cash.
Yeah, this was about now. This is our time to shine.
Yeah, you gotta
Get 'em
monetize. You gotta make that money back.
Yeah, we've just got to. It's the only way forward, I think.
He
In this
takes
life.
P1 at Monaco, and I'll be like, that's for that.
P1 school.
That's for
P1.
that $2,000 fucking buggy we had to buy and never used. As soon as you could walk, you never used it again. But we'll try them with all the sports. Try
Yeah.
them with all the religions. He's going to Quran class next Wednesday.
Karate and Quran Wednesdays.
Karate and
We've
Quran.
got
Rugby tots.
Chelsea Thursdays.
Oh God, yeah. I wonder is like early Christianity and early sort of Islam, like taking them to rugby tots in football. You're like, they're just fucking.
It's all the same.
They're all just doing this, and I don't know what the fuck they're doing anyway.
It's a book and a
Trying to be good or something. Jesus Christ.
something like that.
But it is.
We'll
fun.
not leave you to those teachings, possibly.
How many of the other parents that dropped their kids off this morning came and recorded a small podcast?
0, I would imagine.
Yeah, I'd say 0 also.
Most of the dads are driving past in vans in their work gear. You're there being like, what trainers will I wear to the school?
What about me waiting on McCartney the other day, who drives a white van, like a pervert, and he drives a Berlingo, and
I
another
can't imagine him driving a car, I'll be honest.
and another Berlingo pulled up at the gate, and I opened the gate on my phone and went, just fucking drive in, you idiot. Just a guy delivering a package.
Did you?
Yeah.
I didn't know you said that.
But I hope the fuck he was like
oh my
foreign,
God.
or he had AirPods in or something, because I shouted like, and he didn't even look. So I think he couldn't hear me. Thank fuck.
Unless you're
Right,
one of those-
just drive in, you idiot. Oh, sorry. Just leave it in the box. Thank you.
Oh my God. Was he out of his van?
Oh yeah.
Oh God. I was thinking if he's in the van, he wouldn't be able to hear.
He
But
parked.
like if he was out.
He'd driven in and stopped at the gates.
Well, that's good.
and
They
got it.
probably think we're absolutely the most crazy people.
Yeah, I don't think he heard me. Thank God.
Oh.
Thank God. One thing hasn't changed between the bomb squad and this podcast.
Squeaky chairs.
Chairs are squeaking. Maybe that's just too
I
much
think
weight
that's a
on it.
weight thing. Because Aaron's chairs very squeaky in Mom's squad. Mine's not too bad.
Speaking of weight, we went on holiday. Sorry, I'm a wee bit congested. Chelsea! We went on holiday, and I was just off the back of the Fringe, drove home at 3 a.m. The next day, packed my suitcase. We left again at about 3 or 4. And then I had all the Fringe festivities and then went on holiday, all inclusive, ate and we drank. You know, it's even worse when you're drinking drinks that you think is a cocktail, but there's probably 0 alcohol in it. So you're just really having a really sugary juice.
Yeah.
Ate like a fucking Roman orgy. And then came home, weighed myself, and I was ashamed of myself. After that holiday, I was just like, I've done nothing but indulgence here, and I'd had enough, and I was doing it in my stand up, but it was like nothing will crash you back down to earth like having to rub sun cream on your nude body.
Yeah,
and I was
you
like,
feel it?
I was like the whole body is tits. I've tits in every direction here.
It took us most of the morning to sun creaming you, didn't it?
Oh yeah, you'd be throwing cans in the bin like,
I was like,
there were cans of
please
beer,
don't do that.
and then just done. Fuck, get another one. And I came back and I weighed myself 290. Normally I sit in there about 286. I always say to you, like, I am overweight, but it always sits at about 285,
Yeah, you don't
286.
fluctuate.
No fluction, no flucting about. And when I came home, I was like, right, that's it. We're cutting the fucking sugar out. We're going high protein. Not full, like, keto sort of carnivore, but let's cut away back on the pizzas and the, you know, the breads and the fats and the whatever. And I gave it 1 week of clean eating. So it was 291. 291 when I came back, and a week later I was 282. 9 pounds of tiramisu and strawberry daiquiris in my guts.
Imagine.
Disgusting behaviour.
Will you fuck up too?
Post. Isn't that rough as it? But that's the joys of being, you know, an absolute fat unit is 9 pounds to me is someone else's like good week at Slimming World.
I mean,
Like,
if I
come in-
lost 9 pounds, I'd be like my ideal weight. Do you know what
Yeah.
you know? I'd say.
When are you going to Colin Geddis diet?
What
7 boiled eggs for breakfast. Nothing.
Not for me.
I've been eating a lot of the same thing. I think if we go to the cafe, I get just a wrap with scrambled egg and chicken,
Yeah.
which high protein. Yes, there's a wrap. What can you do?
No, you can still eat a lot. You know, you're still.
Oh yeah,
You'll
I could eat 200.
I mean,
2,500
you're 6
calories.
foot and you're very wide. Like you'll always be a
I'm
big
6'4".
guy. 6'4". I mean,
I'm 6'4".
6 for the purpose of this podcast. But yeah, you're just eating normally. I think because you're concentrating on it.
Yeah, that's it.
I think always your thing is, as if the listeners of this don't know, if you're not immediately concentrating on it, it basically doesn't exist in your life, and you can't even understand why that would be something until it becomes a problem. And you're like, oh, right, okay, never thought about that. And then you concentrate on it, and you're like, oh yeah, and then you're like perfect at whatever that thing is, or give it your all, you know?
Yeah. Isn't that
And
crazy?
I think that's all that's happening is
Where focus goes,
it made
energy
you-
flows.
Yeah, this is true. And I think you're just going, oh, I think I would like to do this now. And then just spending 1 week where it's at the front of your mind instead of just not in your mind at all. You went, oh, that actually worked.
Yeah.
That's all it is. Like I think that's all anything has ever been, isn't it?
I mean, it is.
Isn't that crazy?
I mean, obviously, I want to do this for as many weeks as possible, but there will come a week where I go, right, I've cut away all the shite and I'm eating high protein. And then once that starts to slow down, you know, when I start going like week to week and I've maybe lost a pound, that's when you start to go,
Yeah.
right, I'll write down how many actual calories this
Yeah,
is,
you can
and
do
then
it.
I'll bring
Yeah,
it
if
down
you
a wee
want
bit
to.
below that. But I don't even.
But I think you just concentrating on it means you've just ate better. Like I think it's
Yeah.
me more. It's like the quality of what you're eating.
That's true.
Because you've always ate good food, but you've also probably just ate whatever the hell you want. But your lifestyle also meant that
Yeah, the
you
lifestyle's
eat
hectic.
out all the time because you can, because it's easy,
Yeah.
because you're out. And
Social.
if you can afford it and you're always out where there's nice Asian food, what are you and I going to choose? Always going to have nice Asian food.
A gyoza orgy.
So
And I'll throw it all down the drain here going to New York. The But I don't think
Maybe this is a therapy session. Maybe you're always trying to relive your primary school days of just being jealous of someone else's Asian food.
that's it.
You're constantly trying to fill up your little
I don't even like. I'm not a big Indian guy anyway. Believe it or not, I'm not big. What about the Indian? I had 2 brilliant Indian exchanges at the Fringe. First one was the guy in.
You always do.
In Maggie's chambers at the Three Sisters, and we were standing there, and I wasn't even going to drink, but then I was doing like Best of Northern Irish with William Thompson. Shout out William Thompson. Cheers for having me on, and congratulations on your first Fringe run. Great success. William Thompson came back from the Fringe there, did Lavery's 15 minutes. Ripper.
Was he? I actually can't wait to come back and see everyone.
Shreds. On fire. He's got a perm or something. I don't know. He's got a greasy, like wrestler's haircut now. But I go up to this guy in the bar, and there's a couple of pints that you'll see in loads of bars in Edinburgh. Like there's one, I forget the name of it now, but it's like a peach beer. You'd love it.
Oh.
Very nice. They had Tennants, obviously. They had something else. And then they had Guinness. And I was like, oh, I might just get a beer or whatever. And then whoever was there was like, come on, we'll get a couple of Guinnesses, for the boys and all, And the guy working the bar was Indian. He went to pour it, and he's like, oh, hold on, are you guys Irish? And I went, yeah. And he goes, you're going to hate this.
Really? He said that?
He's like, you don't think this is dog shit?
Oh no.
Because he's probably just had like, load of Irish people ordering them and be like, that's fucking stinking and all. Obviously you're in a dingy, hole in Edinburgh somewhere.
That's
of course,
such a funny thing to say though.
He goes,
Irish,
you're going to hate this. And I was like, I'll give it a go anyway. And the good thing about me is I don't drink Guinness enough to fucking know what's good and what's not good. I just drank it and I was like, well, it's cold and tastes like Guinness. So
that's what it is.
What can you do? And then another chap came to the live pod, and it looked like it was like a looked like a couple. It looked like this guy on his own, and then a couple, and then 4 lads or something in the front row. And I was like, "Oh, what's your name, man? Are you here by yourself?" And he goes, "Yes, I'm here by myself." And I was like, "Oh, where are you from?" And he goes, "I'm from New Delhi." And I went, "Oh, sweet." And I was like, "Do you live here?" And he goes, "Yeah, I work here." And I was like, "What are you doing?" He goes, "Well, look at my face. Of course, I do, like IT support or something." And I went, "I would just like to stop and point out that he did a racism to himself, okay? And that was not me."
Oh, that's so funny.
And then, of course, we were just anyone that's not a fucking 21 to 35-year-old male listening to our podcast. I'm like, how the fuck do you even know about us? And the guy, I think it was like a Bert Kreischer clip or something. And then he started listening, and then he was at the live podcast by himself. I was like, fucking unreal. And then a girl, Kelly, there, who had come to the show, or she'd met us after the stand-up show, and then we got her into the live podcast because she was over from Canada. And she was like, she follows you and everything. Well, of course she does. Who doesn't? But
we've established this.
Yeah, and she's like, oh, I follow your wife and everything, and I'm coming to Lavery's next week. And then sure enough, she was at Lavery's.
Oh my God.
So very cool.
Very cool.
Very cool, very swag,
What a cool way to people to connect to each other,
I know.
That's really cool.
Very cool. We're cool guys.
It was very fun. On my end, I'm just being like, bye, see you later in a week.
Yeah.
You're having fun. It was actually the first friend I haven't been to in years.
Yeah, at all.
Or obviously the couple of years where I couldn't have went, but it wasn't on, I don't think.
I'll tell you what's happening. I'm finally hitting the age, we're finally hitting the time where, obviously, it's like lockdown and then you were sick and blah, blah. And we're out of the back of that. And I was never thinking about the Fringe. Hadn't thought about the Fringe forever. But I was in that really nice apartment there, and it was right on the edge of the meadows. And I was like, this is the time where you would hire this, spend a fortune probably, bring your family, be right on the edge of the meadows. You could play with Eddie in the fucking park all day, watch all these smelly hippies, juggling and whatever. And then, you could, if your show was at like 10 o'clock, you could just have your day and then go, right, we're getting in the house, get some food, here's bedtime. And then I just nip out for an hour and come back. And I was like, I could do it like that. And I would definitely want to do it in like Monkey Barrel probably. But
yeah,
it's hitting the time where I'm like, I would do the full run then.
Lots of people do bring their kids.
Yeah.
And
they do.
stereotypically, when you don't have children, you look at that being like, that sounds awful, or you're like, oh, you just don't get to have fun now, like, because your kids are there, or, and then obviously you become this stage of your life yourself, and you go, oh, but it just is kind of the best of both worlds. That's what it is. And also, you forget to think about it from the child's point of view, which is like, how cool would it be that like every summer you go to live in Edinburgh?
Yeah.
And it's like you're in a festival every day where there's like performers and you eat ice cream and there's music and dancing and people in costumes and you know what I mean? Like talk about what a cool thing to do for your summer.
Yeah, be so cool.
Isn't that unbelievable?
And then
unbelievable?
When you're like a parent, you always go like, oh, is that going to be hectic? But then it's hectic.
Oh, it's hectic.
It's hectic you being at home. It's hectic me being by myself. It is. That sounds like boo-hoo. But like when you're used to like your day being full, you like get up and you're like, oh, just especially on that trip where we were recording. I'm like, well, I just gotta wait till everyone else gets up before we can record here. I can't go too far. I can't like go out around town because they'll be like, oh,
Yeah, it is weird because then because like if I'm at home. And then it's just me and Eddie, which is also hard because it's not hard, but it's only because when you're the one responsible person, you're basically in responsible mode for 24 hours. So like that's just hard because you don't have another person being like, I'll bring him up to bed now, and you can just go eat your dinner or something.
Yeah.
Like you can't just rush and do whatever you need to do. Like
you're all in.
So like we kind of that is probably the hardest part is that like you go do a thing and then I have to also do the thing, and it's just harder doing those separately. Than it would have been to just do it at the same time.
I know.
But yeah, it would also be probably not springing him there. But I think when he gets older, it'd be class. Like
I think you like it, especially like if I'm thinking about that specific apartment. People could come over, and like be there for a week or even a few days. You could come over twice for fuck's sake. Yeah. We Edinburgh trip, be nice.
You going to do the full run next year?
I don't know. It might. It seems like
it's the first time you've considered it.
It seems like a great way to get a show together.
Oh, yeah.
Well,
obviously.
So instead of me trying to write a show for the tour that's kicking off here, it's in a pretty good place actually. You would just do that gig every day. Yeah. And then you could do a tour. Well, and it's already done.
To be fair as well, you never thought about this. It's probably the first year or next year would be that you could do a full year because we actually have more people working with us at Lavery's now. Yeah. We never had that before. We were solely responsible for everything at Lavery's as well. Yeah. Now we have Begley who's like there at the shows, and like Dave can do video. We've got Sign Guy. Like we have lots of people who can do those things now, which is great.
I'm going to write Lav's poster down here. That's a job I need to do.
Because we've never had that before. We've never been able to have someone else. Yeah.
Turns out that's the way to run anything.
Oh, you just
delegate.
You just need a group. You actually need a group of people because I think that was us for quite a while, wasn't it? You do sort of run things out a wee bit because we tried to do absolutely everything ourselves, and we did for a long time.
It's actually, and because we could as well.
It's because we could, but then you end up being like, you can, but you actually sacrifice probably way too much.
You can be overskilled, guys. You can be overskilled in this world.
We just tried to do too much.
Trying to do it all.
Trying to do it all.
How did you enjoy your holiday, Máirín?
I loved my holiday. It was great. We did have a big storm in Mallorca.
I know, it's so annoying.
Like a day and a half. As I said to you, like I feel like I could have had another day or so there because I feel like we missed a full day. Mm-hmm. It was torrential rain.
Peshing down.
Now I'm glad the timing of it meant that we got there for a day and it was nice, and then it rained and then it got better again. Mm-hmm. Instead of, I think people were trying to get in. Yeah. To like Palma you fly into. Apparently the whole airport flooded. Nuts. Like it's a really weird sort of airport anyway, but like that would have been shit. It would have been shit flying the storm. A lot of people couldn't get back home again. Like all that stuff. So like, all right, it wasn't the worst, but like
I did laugh.
It was so nice to be away.
I did laugh when we landed and there's obviously like passport control or whatever. Yeah. And there was fucking 10,000 people at it.
God, it was nuts.
I was just like, is this like
Thank God for that one guy. That's basically
I was like, is this every time you go to Mallorca you have to fucking plow through
anyone
this?
Else I've talked to, it wasn't that bad. But it seems to be just that week that we went from all this stuff.
Oh, it was insane. And it seemed, by the way, you're just walking through a wall of farts every 10 meters, aren't you?
Oh my God. Yeah, zigzag farts.
You're standing in the zigzag fart queue.
Like, who did this? That was you.
And people are just dropping farts, and then you walk 5 meters and just be like, oh, I'm just eating someone else's ass particles right now. And then there was all these like young staff at the passport control, and they're all just standing around like this young guy with like curly hair and a fucking covered in tattoos and all. And then the wee ugly, like Danny DeVito of the airport came out, and he was like, what about, like shouting away in Spanish. And I had to laugh because I've done a bit of Spanish myself. And claro means like, of course, or obviously, or something.
Yeah.
Someone probably knows how to speak Spanish. Is like, yo, what is it called? I think it's of course, but he said something to the guy like, "Cuando," and the guy said, like a wee teenager guy goes, "Blah, blah, blah," said something back to him, and he went, claro, like it's like so fucking so sarcastic, claro. And then they fucking opened it up because there's like they were jamming everyone through this one passport control, and then he opened the gate, and there's like fucking 10 more of them. Do you remember like stations for people to be in?
No,
like
it's something to do with like all the places now should have the like scanner ones where you should just like scan your passport, you walk through. But families, obviously, if you're under 16, you can't do that.
Yeah.
But the majority of people coming in all of these flights are families with kids under 16. So there's just like 1,000 people in a queue, and then people doodling up like beep, beep, beep with all like 20 different ones. And there was literally 2 people at the passport control, which is insane
Fucking
for the
hell.
amount of people. It took a full hour and a half, and we didn't even get to the top until your guy went nuts. And then we were about to miss our transfers and everything.
Yeah.
They only last 45 minutes, and I was like, we're still here. It was a full hour and a half. So we would have been there probably 2.5 hours, I'd say, to get through passport control. Only luckily we were at a corner, and it's all families, and he was like, family, and we're like, yeah. And he just took us out and let us go through to the next bit. But I mean, it was all family, so we just luckily were standing where he was standing, so we were very lucky. Like, but
I like that terminology now because every time we sat down for dinner at this all-inclusive place, they'd be like, hello, family.
hello, family.
I might start saying that.
Yeah, it was just nice.
Hello, family. Look how well lit your face is in this video versus mine.
I have no glasses
Great.
on.
Hello, family.
Hello, family.
Hello, daddy. How many dessert you going to have today? Big fat bastard.
You need wheelchair?
You need high chair for child and wheelchair for daddy?
Look at you now.
Look at me. I might be
Shrinked.
10 pound down, who knows?
Look at this. Barely anything left of you. Come on.
And surprise, surprise, you stop eating shite for a week.
What?
You feel much better. Much better.
Life advice with Colin.
Very obvious. That's me. Tell me it 1,000 times, and then I'll come to the conclusion myself on the...
7 to 8 years later.
Yeah,
That's all it
and then
takes.
I'll be like, I fucking told you. Sugar is the devil. But it's funny because, if you're watching what you're eating, and then it comes around to dinner, like this morning, you're like, do you want cornflakes, like quickly before we do a podcast? And I was like, what the fuck is cornflakes going to do for me? None.
But that's good because normally you would have had 2 bowls while you're thinking about
Give
it.
me 4 eggs.
Yeah.
And I just burped 4 eggs up there. Disgusting. What
Look
about
at you.
when we landed after the holiday and the plane is going through powdery soft air the whole time? Hot air. And then it came over Ireland and it just fucking, you can hear the plane like grinding through the clouds.
It reminds me of that Simpsons one where they look out the window and then there's like a gremlin like that, like the cartoon version of it.
Yeah.
Of that. Anyway, it just reminds me of that. Like I keep thinking I'm going to look out the wing and there's just going to be some sort of cartoon gremlin.
Oh, God.
It was like black as you're going through.
And then we landed and
It was weird, isn't it?
the girl was like, I don't know if you've looked outside, but welcome home. And you look out the window, peshing down.
Sure, it hasn't stopped.
Yeah, sure, I was talking to your man next door, the farmer. He's like, it's fucking cat. This weather. It's fucking cat, mate.
Hard to be.
It must be nuts. Like if you're a farmer, just waiting, just watching the weather all day. Bit of sunlight. Go, go, go. Get that grass cut. We got to move this grass around for the remainder of the year.
Not the same stress as you're under, I don't think.
Oh, no.
You haven't even cut our fucking lawn. Never mind.
That's what I said to him. I was like,
You're trying to relate to the farmer.
I was like, sure, I can't even get the garden cut. Never mind you, boys. In the fields and all. Some of their level of stress. But he's not trying to write shows and go and do gigs with people in Bangor and all.
That you know of. No, this is true.
Did that gig in Bangor. Great gig. Freezing.
That's a shame because it should have been like a summery outside gig, wasn't it?
Freezing cold.
It's not.
I could see the staff in the corner of my eye just closing the side of the tent.
Oh, freezing.
One girl, this couple at the front were laughing, and then the girl went, "Ooh," and did that like shiver yawn thing, you know.
That's the gambles outside stuff. I think they're usually fairly lucky with those ones, aren't they?
Yeah.
They're
What
quite nice,
about me just nearly forgetting about it too?
You didn't. You said this. You didn't forget about it because you knew it was on. You were talking about it.
Yes, but it was whenever I got sent like a sales report thing, and it was the first gig on it, and I went, "Oh fuck, I forgot about that." But that was about 4 days before it.
As in, like, it's your solo show rather than it being like
I thought, I don't know.
someone else's show or something.
Yeah, it was like the last show at the open house festival.
Yeah,
Big closer, you know what I mean? Roll out the big dogs.
that's your name.
Big closer. The big closer.
Your worst big clothes.
Trying to subtly wipe snot away from my nose because it was freezing. Should have went on stage in a coat. I was literally doing jokes and be like,
This is the first day it has felt very cold, actually.
it's a bit chilly in here now.
Very back to schooly, isn't it?
Well, at least it's bright and fresh, but this office
Cold.
will go from you can't breathe in it to you need 7 blow heaters on it.
Well, it's the same as the Belfast office. There's no actual radiators.
No. I might get some of
Or
those.
windows, really. As in, well, there's windows, but it's all doors. It's not openable. So it's either freezing or roasting.
Might
What
get
do people do? Electric blankets?
No, I
That's
was in.
about it, I think.
I was in the Glee Club in Glasgow, and they have wall mounted, like what's the term? Like infrared heaters.
Yeah, the wee panel thing.
Yeah, so it looks like
Yeah,
a
you
whiteboard,
need that
but it
rather
was,
than like the blowy
beating
heatery
heat
ones.
off it.
They're no good. Blow heaters do nothing.
they
You need
don't.
the infrared panel. Yeah.
The blow heaters give you the cold. You sit in them long enough, you're like,
It just, do you know what it reminds me of? It haunts me of the time when I used to live in the Holy Lands, where obviously I bought the cheapest one. So, you know, the wee one's like a wee circle and it's blowing nothing. Like it's just basically scorching hot air. But all it's doing is blowing all the cold air then, you know, it keeps circulating it. So you're only warm if you're in front of it, but you're actually still freezing. Do you know what I mean? You're just burning different sections of your leg. And it just reminds me of living there. And it was just so cold. And then I think back, I'm like, why are we so cold? Why did we not have any form of heat? Like, I
no one wants to pay for it.
Getting in the bed and it's literally damp with cold, like freezing because you're also beside a window, and it's just cold. Everything.
There's
Blow
nothing,
heaters give me like the heebie-jeebies now.
there's
Like.
nothing to do other than smoke in your bed when you're in the Holy Land.
Oh yeah, everyone smoked. I think that's the only reason people were warm, because it gives the illusion of being warm.
Yeah, looks like smokers.
People now with all their, you know, social media and all their, like, you know, I was going to say catch up TV, but that's the most embarrassing thing ever.
Nothing I like after
Catch
a
up
long day
TV.
than sticking on the catch up TV. I don't know how it
I
works.
meant like on demand.
It's
not
some
catch up.
sort of wizardry that it's
But we
already
had none-
happened.
We
but-
literally didn't have anything. Your TV didn't even work, really.
Yeah, someone had one Fight Club DVD
I think
that you just
it
watched to death.
started to be people had like Virgin TV or something where there's maybe something on it if you got the internet,
Yeah.
but we didn't have that.
No, just a Friends box set.
I remember there was one person with Facebook on their phone because they had a BlackBerry, and none of us, we had to borrow our phone to check our Facebook.
Just in a queue behind her, being like, "What? I
So
wonder what's
embarrassing.
happened.
How embarrassing.
Wonder does anyone put up photos from their night out? Do
It's not really embarrassing because we just watched box sets
you know
and
what's embarrassing?
smoked and talked to each other. Imagine.
Ugh, gross. Net Dominoes.
Sometimes.
Do you know what's gross?
I think a lot, actually, that's when I lived with Sean, Michael, and Meg.
I forget what I was going to say. Oh, yeah. I used to, you know, I'd have went out for a night out, and in my pockets, I would have had, you know, like the box of Amber Leaf or something that had all the rollies and the filters and all in it. My keys and a lighter and an actual Panasonic digital camera.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you what,
Imagine.
you know, there was some cool photos taken of the boys
say?
on night out.
What's that?
But I was snapping away, take cool black and white photos and whatnot. Imagine jamming that in your pocket when you're heading out now.
Taking a camera, like
Taking
I
a
think you take
camera.
phone, but like, you know.
Yeah, this is a full camera with a flash on and everything. I must look like a right pervert, but you know, you,
No, that's
you
just
got
how
to.
it
There's got to
was.
be one weirdo running about with a camera for you to have any memories at all.
Yeah, everyone's always appreciative of the camera after the fact. You
Like
know?
I've never regretted like making a vlog, like taking a camera somewhere,
No, never.
making something because you look back and you go, "Oh, could you remember?"
I think that's why my iPhone right now is full capacity, which is crazy, like with the amount of storage I have on it. But
I don't think it's crazy for you.
I take a lot.
You do every 10 feet
I
on
know.
holiday. Stop getting our 4-year-old who
I just,
does not like standing still. Stand
think-
there, take a photo.
I think I'm just so aware of the you know, how quickly time goes when you have a child. It's just like, I feel like I don't want to miss anything. Do you know? I feel like each one is like this like precious memory he's going to want to look back on. And knowing rightly, he'll be probably the kind of, you know, teenager or adult who'll be like, why did you keep any of these? These were all so boring. And I'll be like, oh my God, look at you. Yeah. This is the first time you sat on a chair.
There's your bare arse in a bath. Look.
Here's every breakfast you've ever had. I don't know, I can't. It's just too amazing. You know what I mean? I really mean that. Oh, now, the rest, nice. It also helps when it's absolute meltdown central to look back on those photos and be like, remember how precious
why it's worth
he feels.
And you don't want to
look at him sleeping peacefully and he's so precious, but like plenty of nuts times too. But this is why you need the memories so that people look back. You only ever remember the good stuff, or if you look at photos, you only ever take photos of the good stuff. So you look back and as you get older, your mind will just erase all of the absolute carnage and chaos that it is having a child. And you'll look back at the photos and they're all cute and you're like, wow, let's have 10, you know?
I wonder, you know, the way I've got like a box of horrible memories in a photo form upstairs.
That's not how people talk about photos, but yes.
You know, that I haven't even opened, but it's there. Will it be someday where someone will just be like, oh, you know, Granny died and we were hugging through her drawers there, and oh, we found her phone. You know, is that how they're going to do it now? We're all going to sit round and go through Granny's phone. All the nudes and all, screenshots of Amazon. That's how they'll see all your memories.
This is the problem with phones. If it is all like digital or if it's on people's computers and stuff, it's mixed in with all your other stuff. Do you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Photos are just your photos. Do you know what I mean? Or your diaries, okay, but maybe you put those very specific diaries and you're happy enough to keep those diaries or whatever, your memories or your whatever. Phones and laptops are just everything. Like you can't be having your precious memories against your unprecious whatever you're doing. You know what I mean?
Dildo in your ass, you freaks.
Well, you know, that or other things possibly.
Well, you know, they'll be like, you know, they'll be going through my phone and be like, you know, Granda wasn't really a pervert. He just in a WhatsApp group with a load of comedians.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like
they did send in some snuff videos.
But how would you know? Like, how would you know which ones are just them? Or do you know what I mean? Like, if you looked, even if you know, like you open your browsing thing, it's like a million tabs open. Yeah. You're like, some of the random things that have just been tabs, like these are not a reflection of you. They're just random things you've had to look up, or you've clicked on something by accident, but it'll just open it and it's gone. You know, who knows where that is now?
I did it yesterday.
I closed some of them. I'm like, what the frig is this? Like,
see, like doing the podcast and everything, and having things that you.
I can't get to know myself sometimes by looking at my own things. But like, when did I look up fucking? I don't even have a good example. Like,
I was laughing yesterday. So, so there's like obviously like I've opened like a ticket link to myself. Yeah. Norm Macdonald vintage T-shirt. Compare cheap flights. There was one of them I was laughing at, because you're sitting doing a podcast and you're going like, there's a Kevin Hart article, visual antics. There's some of these were, I've just been sitting there with Aaron and going
looking up a thing.
I'm going like, oh, I wonder, is that a thing? And then you look it up and it's like,
well, that's my brain as well. Like, or like looking up a random word that you've seen. You're like, oh, I don't know what that means. I'll look it up.
That'd be so embarrassing, wouldn't it?
What?
You know, like, oh, let's see what...
It's meaning me looking up things I don't know what they are.
Let's see what Granda looked up, and it's like, how to spell necessary.
Yeah. We did this once a week.
A lot of booking.coms, DPD, a lot of watch things. And I don't even really use like Safari. I just use the Google thing. There, I've looked up a mouse. Audi A3 hatchback. That's like a link someone sent me. Just trash, like.
Oh, yeah.
Just absolute trash. Charity boxing. I'll not talk about that. Yeah, there's certain things have happened in the last while since I recorded. Charity boxing happened, where I was absolutely set up.
Now you're up for vengeance.
I'm out for fuck all.
Yeah.
I'm out for good times and laughs on tour. ColinGeddis.com.
It's not about good times now, guys.
What about the good times? The thing that pissed me off about the boxing the most, other than getting my head smashed in, it was just the time that went into it. Everyone took it very seriously, and it was like all consuming the whole time.
Yeah. And
for what? 36 grand for charity? I'd give you that. I would. And then it was like immediately brushed past, you know. No highlight reels, no nothing. It was just like, right, that was it, done. What's next? You're gigging on Friday
Yeah.
with a sore head?
Good job you spent the last 6 months every day of your life
Every day training.
dedicating to this for you not to.
Didn't lose a pound doing that either. Didn't lose a pound of weight training.
How's that even possible?
And then I lay off the buns for a week and I've lost 9 pounds. It's crazy.
It's almost as if all those facts that people have come up with
I know.
are actual real things. Who would have thought?
I thought they were all just paid by Big Protein to lie to us.
Who's he?
That should have been my fight name. Welcome to the ring, Big Protein. Yes. Have we to go now? I mean, in the words of Bill Burr, we're just checking in on you. You know, we just thought we'd squeeze in a wee podcast here, have a nice, lovely chat for the people who want to. I know there'll be people will be all over this. Me and you just having a wee chat. It might actually be a good way for
The
us.
funny thing is, we have chats all the time, and now we're just.
And by the way, fuck
Decided to sit
sponsors,
down
fuck ever. I don't fuck that. Fuck all that.
I guess.
Let me just do a podcast. I'm not doing a read for something I don't give a flying fuck about.
You're craving creativity, aren't you, Colin?
Craving creativity, you know.
Stop
Even
going on about it. I need to make things. I want to do things. So you're just doing.
we
it
even
now.
released a little ad for the jumpers there.
Mhm.
Decided to be a wee bit outside the box, you know.
People like the filming of it.
People like,
Who was
did
that
they?
by?
Yeah, it was you. I mean, I might actually
filmed
do a blooper reel of that
No, don't play. Please don't.
because
Please don't.
we needed one shot. I was like, Maureen, I'm going to
No.
stand in the middle of this field. You
It's
just
absolute chaos.
press this button, the camera will zoom at a constant pace into me, and that's all I need. I'm going to stand there completely still.
No, you didn't say that. You said, I'm going to stand here. We're going to zoom right in tight to me. Then you zoom fully back. Then you have to press tight on the screen so that it slowly goes into tight.
And what's,
and you're like-
what's confusing about that?
That you have to zoom in, zoom out, zoom back in again. So actually it was 3 zooms
Well, it
for one zoom.
would have
People-
taken all day for me to just stand in the field
I don't
and,
need
for,
an explanation.
and for you to try
I'm
and find
saying
me.
that is not actually that clear of a direction. It's not as easy as just being like, oh, all we did was zoom out. We didn't.
Well, the explanation there would be, instead of you trying to, because it really does zoom, so you would
Colin,
lose
no
me.
one needs an explanation.
I was
No,
like,
I know.
start on me,
Colin.
zoom out, and then go in.
You didn't say it as clear as that, is what I said.
I think
And
I
I
did.
also had Eddie
Yeah, there was,
throwing piles of muck at me.
yeah, because
He's on the muck pile beside us.
we weren't paying
right
him
beside
attention,
us.
and he was just like,
And he kept walking into shop being like, can you see me? Can you see me? And I was like, yeah. I was like, Eddie, can you just stand aside for literally 2 minutes? Like, oh, I need 90 seconds for you to just stand slightly to the left
Yeah.
of us. There is how much space? I don't know how much the space is around us. A lot of space around us. You could stand anywhere in this field, Eddie. Please stand to the left of me.
I'm going to do a blooper
He
reel.
kept standing in front of me. And then he started throwing muck at me. And he's like, I'm trying to hit the tree, which is right beside me. And I was like, Eddie. And I just get this like, he did whack me with a big lump of it first. And then he would hit the tree and just the debris would be like sprinkling on my face. And I was like, oh my God. And then you would do something like, what? Are you in yet? Did you do it? And I was like, yeah, it's in now. In or out? In or out? What do you mean? Where? And then you just storm off. I was like, get back. I was like, get back there right now. And then you're like, no, I'll do. And then you stormed off and you went into the kitchen.
Yeah.
And then Eddie came to me and I told him I just needed this and explained to him. And he's like, okay, mummy, I think I'll try it again. So he was deciding he was going to have another go. I'm going to try again to stand beside you instead of right directly in front of this one thing. And you're already in the kitchen like, no, that's it. I'm like, Colin, get outside. You have one chance to do this.
I spiraled out completely. I
out.
had thrown my entire career down the drain in 2 minutes. I went, this is the problem. This is the life we have. A 2-minute job is fucking impossible
You
right
say
now.
to the person who's not a camera man, your actual wife and son is there in basically our house.
But I'm like, but if he wasn't there, it would have taken 2 seconds. But I was like, this is it. It's the simplest task. It takes a day. I have to start my day at fucking 9 o'clock when everyone's in bed, and then do my work day because I can't fucking do anything, and I can't do this job, so I'm quitting.
That was Colin.
I was like,
storming
how
back
am I-
up the field
I was like,
because Eddie kept
I was like,
shouting.
I would have a more peaceful life if I had to tell my family I'm going to work at 9 to 5, and I just forgot about my shitty job whenever I come home at 5 until the next morning. It'd be way easier than
As
me
if
trying
you'd
to
forget. You'd complain.
trying to do anything remotely creative for the people.
Right, and how did we get it done then in the end?
Well, you eventually got the hang of it.
Colin! I literally had to go, Colin, get back down that field right now. And I went, Eddie, do not move for 30 seconds. Don't move. And I was like, Colin, you stand down there and just do it. This is our only opportunity to do it. So I just had to shout at both of you to just concentrate and stop going nuts. Both of you going off the rails in separate occasions. And I am the only one trying to make it work.
Yeah.
And that's you. That's it. I can't deal with this.
Yeah.
As you told me something 30 seconds before you're going to record it. And then shouted absolutely impossible to follow
Not
instructions.
impossible. I'd be like,
right, we're going to go in,
you'd be like,
back out, back in again, and slow back in and back out, okay? But do it on the screen, but do that one on the top. Which one? The tight, but then also the in one. What? What are you talking about, Colin? And then I would go, right, that's it, in now. And you're like, in or out, in or out. What do you mean in? Do you mean in or do you mean wide?
you got to use film terminology. That's why they use
And
it.
I was like, I just said in or out. You're like,
You're
wide
like-
or tight?
You're like, I'm in, and I'm like, in what?
In what? I was like,
And by the way,
don't you shout at me. I'm
we're
trying to help
shouting
us.
down a field with wind. So you're like, what?
Well, you were saying things, and I'm like, I cannot hear anything you're saying. You're so far away. It's honestly chaos.
You would be doing something to the camera and then go, and I would go, what does that mean? And you're
What
like,
meant I'm in? Like, it's in.
I'm in wide. I'm coming out tight in a minute.
I'm from the country, say, coming out tight.
Coming out tight.
We're going in wide. Yeah, that's all normal things for me
But
to
anyway,
say.
it's online now. And,
Anyway,
you know,
so-
you can buy a jumper if you want.
I forgot about that.
Yeah, it's fun, isn't it? It's fun times. But we'll go collect our son here, and hopefully he hasn't bitten a child's ear off or anything, and we'll go for a coffee. And that's it, guys. We're gently. It's a phased return for podcasting as well as it is school.
Hope you're all doing well. It's been nice. People still are like sending messages, and we're having chats with people. You know, we're having good fun. But
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, that's it. Thanks, guys.
Anything else, Colin? Do you have any messages for people
Any messages for people?
from a cool, calm, and collected man like yourself?
Just maximize your protein intake, and that should take care of all your needs, really.
You said you stopped eating sugar and your body stopped feeling sore.
Yeah. Shoulder was killing me from the boxing weeks ago. Lower back sort of sitting on my arse too long in the car, and then it stopped eating sugar for a week, and it kind of all went away. I was out here doing fucking kettlebell step-ups on the box and all, just,
Simple as that.
like I was fucking Liver King.
Liver King?
Liver King. What about me going to Edinburgh and going to a place called Ting Tai, and you're like, stop being racist. And I'm
said
like, it is literally called Ting Tai.
I was like, Colin, say king.
It's not. It was Ting Tai.
Sure.
And we saw Brennan Reese in there, and he walked in, and straight away Aaron said, "Oh, I was with someone that you knew. Hold on, I find out what they're called." And then I went, "Oh yeah, I was working with someone who worked with you, blah blah blah." And the guy was like, "What is it with the accusations?" Like he hadn't even said hello. It's very funny. No, we rated Ting Tai quite a bit, and that's probably why I've been able to shift such a monumental amount of weight. No Ting Tais. Just
The key is to put on a lot of weight, and then if you lose it, you're a winner.
Yeah, you want dramatic
know?
weight loss? Be dramatically heavy.
Be dramatic across the board. Okay?
Will you fuck up,
This is it.
Sweet. Right, we'll get out of here, folks. Cheers for listening. It's the phased return.
Yeah.
Will I call the episode Phased Return?
If you'd like to.
If I'd like to. Phased Return. Thanks for joining me today, Máirín. Thank you. My tour does kick off on the 13th.
I would like a credit on all your things now as director of photography
Okay.
and
yeah.
director of
I'm gonna put
your life.
I'm gonna put a comment. If director
Life.
of it or fucking ruiner of it. Pain in my ass. You see, was that rock hard when you hit me?
No.
Oh, yes, it was. Yes, it was. It was like hitting a fucking car tire.
Well,
Guys, ColinGeddis.com for tour tickets. I'll be hitting up the domestic side of the tour this side of Christmas. So, for example, your Enniskillens, your Bangors, your Newton Abbeys. I'm doing
Party Centrals.
two big shows at the waterfront. The Friday is sold out. The Saturday is on sale.
What date are they?
22nd and 23rd of November. Would love to see you there. It's the,
I
let me tell you
genuinely
something.
couldn't remember, actually.
It's the best venue for a punter to go to.
Yeah.
I've done all the gigs.
Yeah.
It's the only one I haven't done a big show in.
If anyone's wondering why you chose Waterfront, it was because we were like,
It's the nicest one to go to.
we're just that age now. I know we're like, you just want a nice,
You want to? There's a car park.
place.
Yes, it's tight. You will scrape your fucking alloys to
Small
pieces.
bar. You can just get a drink. You can enjoy
You
yourself.
walk across
you
that
know?
little courtyard or whatever that is. You go in there, glass building. You go in, get a comfy seat. It's the best place to go and watch a gig, I think.
There'll be other venues you'll do eventually.
Of course,
too,
of
again,
course.
But you just
Of course.
decided to have something a bit more.
But yeah, that's all happening. And Dublin as well. Dublin is the Liberty Hall Theatre, and that is on the 3rd of December. So
I'd like to go to that one. You said it's a cool venue, didn't you?
I actually I did Vicar Street, and then it had just went on sale, and then we did Liberty Hall for the podcast, the Bomb Squad, and I was like, this is cool as fuck.
You like?
I was like, I want to do this instead. So that's what we're doing. And then after Christmas, we'll be hitting the old England and whatnots in February or something like that. And yeah, cheers for listening, guys. And we'll be back when we're back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just have a lovely time.
A lovely time,
The
guys.
rest of the time, you know?
Be nice to yourselves. No. Yeah, we're gonna go and collect our son from the prison that is primary school.
Education.
Education.
He's in now.
That's it.
Short and
14 years on the trot now.
That's the only thing that makes me sad.
That's it. We'll be driving to school for the next 14 years. Oh, God.
Just him complaining he's going to school, you complain you're fucking doing something else. This is it now.
No, I'm done complaining.
Nah.
I'm going to be...
No sugar, no complaining. That's you.
No sugar, no complaining.
All right.
Cheers for listening to the phased return.
Cheers.
See you next time. Big kisses. Your hand's freezing.